All right, Smarticles, it is time for us to create our final project. This is your presentation. This is the nitty gritty of it all. So in Google Classroom, I've already posted this for you, and it's labeled Personal Money Management Project. I have already put in a Google slide that you can use, and this is where you're going to turn in your actual project. If you need to go in and read the rubric, it is there to tell you exactly what I am looking for in the end of this project. Everybody will present. I know at first I said I don't know, but we have plenty of time for everyone to be able to present. So be expecting to present it, not next week, but the week coming, okay? So be ready to present your project as we go through with these last couple of weeks. So make it great. All right, so when you click on this and you click on my personal money management project, it's going to come up and it's going to look like something similar to this, okay? Or it's going to have some type of theme. Feel free to change the theme because I don't expect all of you to have the same thing. So I do want you to change the theme to your liking. All right. Just make sure it's not bland. We don't want to be basic. I want you to change it accordingly. So if you click on theme, then you can change it to different themes and to make it appealing for your presentation because you don't want your presentation to be boring. Try not to choose the simple light. Okay. Try to be extra. All right. So I'm going to actually use the project example that I have for you. You can access this through Ms. Spalding's example, or you can go to Social Studies 101, click on Personal Money Management, and you will see that project presentation example at the very bottom that will go through slide from slide. Now, I did do this as an example. So what I've done is I've kind of added in some wording to help you with what I am looking for, okay? So let's just say this is my project, all right? You also are going to need to have your monthly budget out as well because you're going to be taking some screenshots and things of this nature so that you can complete this. So you're going to have a title page. So the first page should have your name. Doesn't quite have to have a picture, but it'd be nice to have some type of intro. Personal money management project presentation, whatever floats your boat, okay? Then you need to give me a little background, all right? Every time you switch, you need to make sure you have some type of heading or subtopic page because I'm going to be looking for that. That just helps with splitting up what you did. So notice I put in here background. Like any project, you need some type of background information. You will introduce us into your life and add all the details so we can understand how you're living. Now, remember, this project is based off of like 13 years from now, okay? So in 13 years from now, what would your life look like and what did you pretty much base your life off of? So you're going to give me some background information. This second slide can literally just say background if that's what you want it to say, okay? I just was explaining what background is. So the first slide under background information that I have is my occupation. Remember, your occupation is a job, all right? So in the example that we've been using, high school social studies teacher, which was a secondary education occupation that I chose. The estimated annual income, what I would be working with was $45,000 and $45,500. The net income after tax was $38,675, and the monthly net income was $3,222.91. Where did I get this information? You got your occupation from UScience with the video that Ms. Bunches recorded for us and walked us through in Infinite Campus. You got the estimated annual income, net income, and the monthly net income all from what we calculated in our monthly budget plan. Notice that these numbers that you see here on the top of budget number 1 are the same numbers that you're going to see on my presentation. So that should not change. Okay? And you also want to try to add a picture that is relative to your actual occupation. So if you put construction worker, music producer, anything of that nature, you want your pictures and things to relate to what you're doing. Okay. The next thing is my home. In the example that I'm using, I live and work in Charlotte, North Carolina, in an average home with my dog. Okay, let me put home so you know that my home was average with my dog. This is the house that I actually got from Zillow.com. This is a picture of Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is a picture of me and my dog. So you want to add some type of personal touches. You want to include pictures and details about how you live. Is it cheap, average, or expensive? And based on what you show us, it's going to tell us the kind of lifestyle that you chose to go with, okay? If you mix and mingle between cheap and average, that's perfectly fine. Just give us a background. That's all we're trying to look for is a background. The next slide is I decided to put in my car of how I get around, okay? Remember that on your budget for transportation, remember the chart gave you cheap, average, or expensive. And if we go to Social Studies 101, Lesson 2, and you look back at that chart, notice that if you chose cheap, you should either be including in this slide a bus, train, or bicycle. If you chose average, you should either have a used car insurance and gas, and expensive should be a new car insurance and gas. So I chose a used car. Notice that I indicated that it was a 2020 Honda Accord Sport, meaning that it would be somewhat used because it's older than brand new. Be creative and add animations. Also, make sure your car description matches budget number 1. So, boom, there it is. So the second portion of this, so after you've done your background information, you're going to go into your first budget. So my budget is the first one. Separate each section with subtopics that introduce what we have been doing in class. So that was just a reminder of what this is what a section would look like. This is separating the sections. So the next thing that you would do is insert a screenshot of budget number 1. Okay. Your idea was to get this to be what it was. So all you should be doing, because you should have already completed this in class, you should be taking a screenshot. And how you take a screenshot is you're going to click the central button, CTRL, and you're going to click if you look at the first row of your keyboard, you should see a box with 2 lines next to it. So you're going to click central and that button at the same time, and you're going to get a screenshot. You will see it pop up on your screen in the right-hand corner, the bottom right-hand corner. Open that, save it so you know what it is. You might save it as budget number 1. That way you have it already documented. And when you want to add a picture to your actual presentation, all you're going to do is go up here to insert image. You can insert image, upload from computer, and you will find in your drive where you had the picture. So the first thing that you're going to do is insert budget number 1. At this point in the presentation, you will break down your budget. You will explain how you balance your budget and the fixed and variable expenses. So when you're presenting, your presentation should explain how you balance your budget. Did you have to go over it twice? Did you have to go over it 3 times? Why is there a difference between fixed and variable? Why do some of them say both? So you just need to explain that briefly, okay? You do not have to put in this picture of if you are cheap, average, or expensive, but you will need to summarize in 4 to 5 sentences how you interpreted the chart based on your income, okay? So just to break that down, if my income is $3,000 a month, I can tell you that I did not interpret this by going with the expensive route. I went more with the average or the cheap route. Okay, so just explaining how you might have flipped between the 3 or how you just stayed on the 2 because you wanted to save as much money as possible. All right, the third section is the realistic budget. So after research, your budget will change. You will use the real market to complete this section of the presentation. You do not have to add a screenshot of your grocery list. However, if you still have your grocery list and you can pull it back up, I would suggest that you take a little screenshot of it so that you can add that to your presentation just for another visual. In this section, it says add in the screenshot from Zillow, which you are going to need to add this in. Remember, I told all of you to make sure you had a screenshot because we do need to see the actual house, and I need to see that you got the right estimate payment. So you're just going to add this in as you took a screenshot of your house. How to get this red circle is you're going to click right here where you see the circle and the square on shapes. You're going to add in a shape. You can add in the circle. Let's see, right here. When you click that, you can change it here. So you just want to change the border color, and then you also want to make sure, because I think it fills it in, you want that to be transparent. And you want your border to be thicker, so try to get it at 3 points or 4 points so that you can, so we can see it as you go through your presentation. So you want to add in a picture of a screenshot of your house, and then you want to add a screenshot of your grocery list. So this is why it was important for you to complete the grocery list so that we can see it in your 15 items. It'll just be interesting to see what you chose to put on your actual list, and what would be appetizing for you if you had to use this every month. So how well did you budget? What did you spend more on than other things? Blase, whatever. All right, so you want to get that from your monthly budget plan. So you're just going to take a screenshot of this and you're going to add it to your presentation. After you have put the pictures of Zillow, Walmart, and your grocery list, the last thing that you're going to put in this section is the realistic budget based on research. This is a screenshot taken from my actual document that we did here. And so I just screenshotted what I had here and inserted this from my computer there. The realistic budget. At this point, you should explain how you save money and what you changed in this budget. One of the main changes is the savings amount, because we went from 10% to 20%. So make sure you explain that. And your money left over should be equal to or greater than 0. I am looking for the realistic budget, okay? So I will definitely be grading you off of the budget that you have. What I had you explain right here, you pretty much can copy and paste that into your actual presentation, because you should have explained it in depth enough for us to understand what was going on. All right, so the final section of this presentation is But Then Life Happened. This is your life event, okay? This is where you're going to list the scenario that changed the budget number 2, and this is budget number 3. This is the budget that you had to copy and paste, okay? So the first slide underneath this section is going to be your final budget, all right? You're going to show where your budget would change for the month based on the scenario. So, for instance, my scenario was the Rolling Loud concert in Miami for $1,000. However, I only budget $50 a month, and I just kind of show where that was in my budget, okay? But then I'm going to explain. I showed a little picture of me at the Rolling Loud concert having a great time, okay? And then this is where I put after 6 months of savings, okay? So you can do 2 things. You can put in, when you did your third budget, remember I had you go through and do the multiplication and all that good stuff, and you show the changes on here, all right? So what I want you to do is either you can make a chart of 6 months of you actually budgeting that amount and then explaining it, or You can not do this and just take another screenshot of this or just show me this area. So personally, I could have just screenshotted the concert area and showing this and put that in as my chart instead. But notice over here on the left-hand side, it says explain if you took your life event from your savings or your monthly income was enough to cover the cost. Feel free to use the chart to help with visualizing your summary. So anytime you can have a chart or a visual, it just makes it easier instead of just reading words. So all I did here was after we did our life events, notice I had you write at least 5 sentences about what happened. You can just copy and paste this, okay? You can copy and paste this here so that it's just easier for you to not have to write too much and just copy and paste what you had already answered, all right? The last slide is project summary. In paragraph form, explain the answer and answer the question based on your salary. Are you living within your income? Do you have a balanced budget? What did you use in this form? So right here in paragraph form, you're just going to explain pretty much your project, the process, going through everything. Do you understand what budgeting is? Do you understand what your income is? Do you understand what it means to live within your income? Were you having a hard time with understanding the amount that you had is all you had? How did you readjust? Were you in the negatives at one point? How did you readjust? Okay. So you're just going to explain pretty much the project overall. All right. And the last thing, the last slide, of course, is a thank you for your attention. Maybe add a cute little quote here to leave your viewers with. Make these good because I want to keep these forever. So just really put some time into your projects. I think they'll be great. But that's it. Make it personable and do your best. All right.